Appalachian Trail thru hike, white neck gaiter versus orange hiker buff. So now that I've compared my two neck gaiters or hiker buffs, I wanted to talk about those. In the initial video, I had said I really like this white dollar. It cost me like $1 on Amazon, this cool mesh here. It was tight at first, so I had to wet it and kind of stretch it a little bit, but I actually love it. It hides me from biting flies that aim for darker colors. And I got an actual brand name cool mesh buff from the company and love it. And it's not tight. It fits really well right out of the package. And also I looked up and it said, while white camouflages me from biting flies, yellow and oranges actually deter them. So it must be some kind of predatory thing where they go, ew, yuck, don't go near it. So I am definitely going with this. I also love items that are hunter orange because I hike in a lot of places where hunting is allowed and I want to make sure they see me. And it's also really great when looking back at a campsite or after taking a break, if any of my items are on the ground and they're colored like this brightly, they'll be easy to not leave behind. And along that theme, I have a winter buff by -33 merino wool. I have glove liners -33. I have a merino wool hat and my REI wipe cloth that I use instead of a bandana. I'll do a separate video on that later. All these items, this one's going, all these items are nice and bright so that it's easy to see me and easy to find any of these items if I accidentally drop them or leave them behind. Now let's compare my red foam visor to my orange foldable visor. The nice thing about owning 8 acres of woodlands with a stream running through it is I can do a lot of the gear tests here at home, and then when I come up with what I think are the best choices, I can take those out on the trail and do a real shakedown. So we do some pre-testing here. We have biting deer flies, horse flies, mosquitoes. This is wetlands. So if a bug spray works here, it'll work just about anywhere. So I'm wearing the foam visor, very lightweight, very comfortable, cloth elastic, really cozy. I've worn it for quite a while now, and I've come to realize that throughout my hikes, day hikes, I tend to have to do this a lot. Like, let's lift this up because it's slipping down, or kind of thing, like if you move and the head turns and the visor stays. It's pretty snug, but if it's very humid out, it loosens up a little bit. I haven't been out with it in the rain yet, but I'm betting that it gets wet and this stretches out and won't be reliable anymore. And I don't like the colors of it. I like colors that if I leave gear on the ground, I can spot it really easy when I do that glance back to camp to see, do I have everything? This is kind of camouflagey. Look at this hat. Huh? Come on, kids, let's go golfing. This goofy hat. And here's my orange folding visor. And now I'm testing out this orange folding visor. I'm on at least 10 miles today, depending how I course through it. And we'll get a really good feel for this new mosquito net visor by the end of it all. So I am definitely going with this orange visor on my thru hike. It is really comfortable and it's pretty hot out here now. We're in the 80s now. And it's pretty humid too. Feels good. Easy to quick adjust in the back. Not getting caught in the net at all. And it's doing its job. Keeping the net out of my face. This is my Appalachian Trail thru hike updated insect repellent system. All right, I am out in the woods. This is normally the insect repellent I use, and I go for this container because the small plastic bottles leak when they tip on their sides, and the DEET, even though it's 30%, can melt and stain gear. So you can only put it on your skin. I use it on my arms and legs. This is the new Adventure. I don't know if it's new, but the one I just found. And I'm giving it a go. I think it's got Picaridin instead of DEET. And it's the Adventure formula. So I'm testing it now. I'm in the middle of my woods. We have mosquitoes, biting flies, like horsefly, deerfly, gnats, everything is out here. We're in wetlands out here. So if it works here, it'll work anywhere. And it's supposed to last for 12 hours as opposed to 7. I've never had any issue with this. I've never had to reapply it, so but that could change on the trail when you're out for more than 7 hours. The nice thing about this is because it doesn't stain or melt gear, I actually sprayed my bug net before putting it on today, like just a quick spritz over the top. To keep the gnats from kind of gathering on the net. And so far it's really working, which is not an option that I have with this. You can't put it on your gear. And this, if it spills or anything happens, I mean, how would it spill? It's got a locking cap. It doesn't damage your gear, stain your gear. So I'm leaning towards this. I'm really hoping it works well. I'm feeling, we have really humid weather here. Neither of them dry to the touch in summer. This one tends to feel a tad greasy, I would say, even though it's oil-based. Greasy is probably not a good word, a little slickery. And this one is feeling a little bit thick and tacky, so to speak. And that might change in drier weather, but right now it's like 95% humidity out here, so nothing's gonna dry. But so far I have no bugs going after me, so that's really great. A lot of times these formulas will work against mosquitoes, but not against biting flies. And biting flies for me is a huge problem. They will drive you out of the woods around here. So you better have good stuff. So here I am with the visor that I like best, the folding visor. I spritzed before putting the net over the top. I spritzed the top of it with a little bit of the Adventure formula, and it's working. I don't have bugs flying at my net, which is not harmful, but it's just sort of annoying. So they can't get me, but they buzz around your ears all the time. So by adding this, they're completely staying away without it having to be on my skin. So win-win. This is my bug repellent system. This is my visor, which folds down and packs really small and light. And then I have my bug net. I use permethrin once a month. I don't carry this with me, but once a month I get it from a store and spray all my outer gear and clothes. This formula here, I can spray because it doesn't damage gear. I can actually spray a little spritz over my bug net to keep them from gathering where my breath is. So probably won't be using that anymore. Love this because it has a locking cap. And also, I had this before. Don't get this. It can leak in your bag if you're going to go at Ben's 30, which is also amazing. But it can leak in your bag or backpack, and it can melt and stain gear. And this does leak. Fortunately, I had mine in a Ziploc bag when it happened. But I know I've heard people have had bad accidents happen with that stuff. So if you are going to go with this, get the locking cap canister. Works really great. But that's the basic. Actually, get rid of this. Here we go. There you go. That's my insect repellent system.